What's up, YouTube? This is Bystander X79. Guys, today I'm coming to you with my latest Ghost Reaper and Winter Cherries target video. Gotta say, the online meta is pushing this game forward. I know a lot of people don't like to think about that, but seriously, the game is being kept alive online. And to be very honest, if you're not ready for the threats out of the extra deck in this online meta, you're going to be putting yourself behind. And in my opinion, Ghost Reaper and Winter Cherries is one of the most underrated hand traps in the current meta, primarily because she offers such an amazing interruption factor. Basically, if your opponent controls more monsters than you do, discard this card, reveal one card in the extra deck, and then look at your opponent's extra deck. Also, banish all cards in the extra deck with the name as the revealed card. You can only use this effect once per turn, but still, getting a chance to look at your opponent's extra deck when they're starting to build their plays just gives you such an amazing advantage, primarily because you can then plan out how to counter the rest of their moves. By taking away key resources out of the extra deck, you're going to basically shorten their turns, especially if they're a combo player. So let's just jump right into things. We're going to start off with all the fusion mechanics, the fusion monsters that you should be targeting on the list. El Shaddai Winda is definitely one of the biggest targets that are on the list. I've been seeing this card basically being splashed into a lot of different decks, especially once we get that brand new Shaddai trap into play. Maybe too easy to actually get two Shaddai, or just one Shaddai monster and a Darker Druid monster in the graveyard, fusion summon them, and then get out Winda, which can just basically shut down your opponent's turn because they're only allowed one special summon. Not only that, this card cannot not be destroyed by an opponent's card effect, so definitely it should be a card to keep on your radar. You should at least have one copy in reserve, just in case you want to have a Winter Cherries target. If you're looking for a more dedicated Shaddai deck, then El Shaddai Contract should also be a target high on the list, primarily because it's utilized as a extender in the Shaddai decks. Now, picking away extenders from your opponent basically means they can't really combo off, and it can leave them with more of a subpar field that can be easily broken. Moving on to the Invoked. I've mentioned this before. I've been seeing a lot of uptick in Invoked, primarily because of the onset of Dragma and Rise of the Duelist. Megabuzz should be your primary target. It is the Omni-Negate for the Invoked engine. It can negate monster, spell, or trap cards, and then banish the card as well. So not only in the game, but removing resources is just a horrible thing. And it should be the first card if you're dealing with an Invoked variant deck. Invoked Purgatrio should be the next one, primarily because this is the OTK factor of the deck. Basically, this card gains 200 attack for each card your opponent controls. That's monster, spells, and traps. This card can attack all monsters your opponent controls once each. If this card attacks a defense position monster, inflict piercing damage to your opponent. Just being able to attack multiple monsters and getting insanely big is extremely problematic with this card, and it should be the other invoked target you'll be utilizing Ghost Reapers on. Now, for those players that utilize the Synchro engine and like to put tokens on the board, you need to be on the lookout for super polymerization, and this is the primary super polymerization target. First of the dragons, basically it takes any two normal monsters, and pretty much all tokens are normal monsters. Fuse those two cards together, and you get this guy out on the field. This card cannot be destroyed by battle except with a normal monster, and it is unaffected by other monster effects. So basically, outside of something maybe like Blue Eyes, what else are you going to basically utilize to out this card? Right now the top decks are basically Eldritch, Emancipator. We got some rogue decks like Cyber Dragon and Salamangreats out there as well. Altergeist, they don't run normal monsters, so this card is going to be basically impossible to get over. They can put it in defense position and they have a wall, and yeah, this is something that Synchro players should consider. I know most Synchro players don't want to run a hand trap in their deck because it might be a bad draw. Listen, all the Ghost Girls are Turner monsters, so they do fit into the overall strategy, and you can summon them out in a pinch. They also have great hand trap effects, so this is something that you might want to consider integrating into your engines. For the Elders players that are not running the Synchro engine, Drago Necro is another card. Basically, any two zombie monsters, whether it be two Golden Boys or a Golden Boy and one of the trap monsters or two trap monsters, can create this card. And to be very honest, this card very dangerous to actually have, and it's just an amazing way to get things off the Eldritch player's field. Moving into the Synchro engine, Martial Metal Marcher primarily should be one of the top targets you'd be going through. I've seen this card used so many times in the Synchro combos, it's not even funny. It's essentially an extender allowing you to bring back a tuna monster in your graveyard. So you can continue to combo off. It is a low level, so it's easy to bring out during the combo string. So this is definitely one of the Synchro targets you want to be going after. Most of the other stuff right now that I'm just going to show you right now, we have Herald of the Arclight. This is one of the more end results, but still, it's a one-sided Macrocosmos and the Omnigate built into one card. So it's level 4, and it's pretty easy to bring out with a level 1 tuner and any level 3 token. So definitely something to keep your eyes out on. And Borlo Savage Dragon is the other Omnigate. Equip yourself with a elite monster like Orodon to make itself have over 4,050 attack points and 3 Omnigates added in. So definitely end targets and great targets for Ghost Reaper. Moving on, we have Ravenous Cracker Dragon Arctis. On summon, it basically allows you to draw cards equal to the number of non-tutor monsters used for its Synchro summon. And then as a quick effect, we can discard 2 cards and target 1 card on the field, destroyed. So that's a pretty awesome interruption right there. Gains 500 attack and defense for each of your card in your hand. So drawing a whole lot of cards definitely will power this thing up. After it uses its effects, you're pretty much going to be utilizing it for rank 9 plays. So definitely a target to take out. The other level 9 Synchro is Trishula, Dragon, Ice Barrier. I think this is pretty much self-explanatory. On summon, banish up to 1 card each from your opponent's field, graveyard, and hand. So if you're going first, you need to strip a card out of your opponent's hand. Definitely something to keep your eye on, because once it's on the field, any other level 9 can get you into rank 9 plays like True King of all Calamities. Going into the Xyz monsters, top Xyz monsters right now are going to be Abyss Dweller, pretty much just on graveyard effects. So if you're running a graveyard dependent deck, this card should be a top Ghost Reaper target. Number 41, Bruce the Terribly Tired Tapir. It just is a stall card. It's a very good stall card because you put all monsters on your field that you special summon into defense position and negate their effects. We got Trapstick Rafflesia. This is actually something new that's been playing a lot in the rank 4 decks, primarily because you get this card on the field, you can attach a material, and then you can basically utilize the effect of a trap hole card in your deck. And typically the trap hole card that you're going to be utilizing is Gravedigger Trap Hole, which basically will negate the activation of any card effects that activate in the hand or the graveyard and hit your opponent for 2,000 points of damage. So definitely something that you want to be keeping your eyes out on, especially if you want a lot of hand traps. And then, of course, I mentioned this before with both Ravenous Krakow as well as Trishula. True King of all Calamities, definitely another card that needs to be taken out of the extra deck, especially if you see your opponent possibly running a True King deck. Definitely get that card out of the extra deck, because this card is just insane. It has a lingering effect that basically allows it to negate all monster effects of a particular attribute. Moving on, we have Super Dreadnought Rail Cannon Gustav Max. The primary reason why I have this is basically because Eldritch can make this with 2 Golden Boys pretty easily. And from there, they can actually go into Leap, so taking away their primary card that can lead into a bigger OTK monster. Definitely a great plan. It'll also save you 2,000 life, or yeah, 2,000 life points of effect damage. Moving on to the links, you should not be surprised with any of the first few links that I'm showing you. Christian Half for Bags, I think it's pretty self-explanatory when it comes to the Synchro engine. Same thing with Mecha Fanabase Aurodon and Link Cross. Other links that I have on the list: Predator Planet, Forte, Anaconda. This card is going to be seen in pretty much every Fusion deck moving forward. I wouldn't be surprised if it picks up a limit here in the TCG, especially once we get back into physical play. Fusion decks can just abuse the living heck out of this card. It did pick up a limit primarily because of Dragoon, and we are getting that card at the end of August, so be careful. And of course, we also have things like Salmon Great Sunlight Wolf. They'll just shut down the Salmon Great deck completely. Update Jammer. Any deck that can actually get 2 Cyberse monsters, specifically running Parallel Exceeds in their deck, can make this card, and from there they can actually go into something like the Transcode Talker combo, which will bring back Update Jammer and then allow them to access into Access Code Talker. So all 3 of these Cyberse monsters should also be targets for Ghost Reaper in the current game as it stands right now. Alright guys, that is it for my Ghost Reaper and Winter Cherries target video for July 2020. I hope you enjoyed it. If you liked the video, give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more content like this on my channel, make sure to subscribe and enable notifications so you don't miss any uploads. Check out the description box below. Find the links to my affiliates, tcgplayer.com and sidedeckversus.com, 2 great resources for any Yu-Gi-Oh player. Follow me on social media, Twitter and Reddit. And if you want to help grow my community out to greater levels, the link to my Discord server is in the description box below. Click the link, join the conversation. We'll love to have you. And as always, guys, until next time, peace.